Alright, everybody, it's time for the second episode of Review of the Day, which is League of Assassins. Oliver invites Sarah to the Queen Mansion. He tries talking to her again about telling her family she is alive. Next morning, Oliver learns that Laurel is a part of the lawyers against Moira. Oliver gets upset even when learning that Laurel came up with the plea. He tries to talk to Laurel, but she won't talk. Sarah's alone at the manor looking at old photos when she notices one of the ship. Oliver then returns and fills Sarah in on how Laurel is against his mother. Sarah worries about what she did and if she deserves forgiveness. That's when Sarah and Oliver are attacked at the Queen Mansion by a man dressed like Malcolm Merlyn. After beating the man, Oliver removed the man's mask, revealing that it wasn't Malcolm. Sarah reveals that the man, Al Awal, Arabic for the first, is a member of the League of Assassins and was targeting her for abandoning the League. Sarah tells him the only way to leave the League is through death. Felicity manages to trace Al Awal to an abandoned manufacturing plant from the dirt he left behind. Oliver and Sarah fight with Al Awal and two other League members to a stalemate. They manage to escape, but Al Awal threatens to kill Sarah's family. Oliver manages to protect Laurel, but Quentin refuses to heed Felicity's warning. After dinner, Laurel tries to kiss Oliver, but he stops her. He gets upset and blames herself for everyone leaving her. They notice that her door is unlocked, so Oliver stepped inside first and found a knife in the wall. He removes it before Laurel enters. He makes her promise to stay at her home. Laurel then opens a bottle of pills and takes them. To protect her father, Sarah feels she is alive to him, and they first go to a Chinese restaurant. Worth being jumpy, he asks if she is in trouble. He then figured out that she was the female vigilante and knew the hood. Sarah then begs him to come with her and brings him to her location, the clock tower. Together with Oliver, they manage to stop the League's second attack, with Sarah killing Al Awal. Afterwards, Sarah decides to leave Starling City to keep her family safe, entrusting her secret to Quentin. Moira decides to take the deal instead of fighting, as she isn't confident in winning. Oliver asks her to stop hiding things from him, as his mother tells him that the choice is made. However, with the encouragement of her children, Moira decides to fight the death penalty charge even after being offered a plea agreement for life in prison. In flashbacks, after being left adrift from the Queen's Gambit wreckage, Sarah survives by holding on to a door and is rescued and brought aboard the Amazo, where she meets Dr. Anthony Ivo, who asks her to help him with his experiments. Interesting. So now let's take a look at some trivia surrounding this episode. This is the first episode of the series not to feature Colton Haynes after being promoted to a series regular. During the fight at the clock tower, after Shark sprung and hit Al Awal with darts, Sarah tells him, "You should be mindful of your surroundings." The same phrase was said 3 times in the 2005 film Batman Begins, twice by Ra's al Ghul and once by Bruce Wayne aka Batman, before and followed by important events. In a flashback, while marooned on a piece of the Queen's Gambit wreck, Sarah watches a yellow bird fly away. The bird is a reference to Sarah's League name, Ta'ir al-Shafir, or Safir, which translates to yellow bird, as well as her vigilante identity as the Canary. And now finally, let's take a look at some goofs. In the beginning of the episode at the Queen Mansion, Oliver shown watching a Starling City Rockets game on TV. However, the Rockets are shown as a basketball team when they've confirmed to be a baseball team in all their appearances. In the show where Al Awal is hit with darts from the trap in the clock tower, Sarah has one baton in each hand. However, in the next shot, she carries both of them in her right hand and throws one to her left hand. Okay then. So overall, I think this episode is kind of interesting, and I like the flashbacks to showing what Sarah was like before she came back to Starling City and reuniting with Oliver and Quentin. So yeah. So overall, I give League of Assassins 4 arrowheads out of 5. When we tune in a bit as we take a look at the final episode of Review of the Day, keep your enemies closer. So until then, in the words of Oliver Queen, you have failed this city.